Hello everyone, and Happy New Year. First of all, sorry I haven't uploaded a video in months, probably. I will be continuing to upload the Whisper game that me and my friend Polly had played, because it's really funny, and I love it, but there's like hours of footage for me to edit, so just be patient with that. If you're waiting for it or anything. If you're not, then that's cool. Second of all, sorry this video is a bit late. I know it's already 2016, but it's only the first day, so that's pretty good for me. And that's it. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite books of 2015. In 2015, I read 38 books, and 10 of them made the list. But I'd hoped to have 15, but that just didn't happen. Probably because I read a lot of meh books, and I also did loads of rereading. I reread the entire Harry Potter series and Cruel of Beauty, and Paper Towns. So that's why this is only 10 books, but that's pretty good considering I had a sort of reading year. The first book on this list is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I went into this book pretty blind. I think I had a vague idea of the plot and the characters, but I didn't really know too much about it. I read it because Witty Novels talked about it on her channel, and she said she loved it. And so I'm like, well, if she likes it, it's gotta be good. And I was right. Whitney was right. This book is amazing. It follows the story of two twins, Noah and Jude. They were a lot closer when they were younger, but they kind of grow apart as they get older. And it just follows them kind of discovering who they are and reconnecting, and them and their father becoming more of a unit again and a true family. And it's amazing. And Noah, one of the main characters, is gay, so yay LGBT representation. That's always good. And I love the characters. I love the writing style. I love how you got to know both of the characters, since you see things from both of their points of view in different time periods. But the jumping between times never gets confusing because the two characters have such distinct voices, so you can always tell, who's narrating. Basically, I just love this book, and when I finished it, I was just like, no, I don't want to be done. I'm not ready to leave this world and these characters. It was so good. It made me think, it made me smile, it made me cry. Just read this book if you haven't already. The second book on my list is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. I read this book because I heard Fangirl Flails talk about it on her channel, and I thought it sounded really good, and honestly, I'll read pretty much anything if it has good LGBT characters, because there needs to be more of that. And that's pretty much why I read it, because Fangirl Flails sounded good, and yay representation. And honestly, it was even better than I was expecting. Like, I was expecting to enjoy it, I was expecting it to be good, but it was a lot deeper and more involved than I thought it would be. It wasn't just like a fluffy romance, and as much as I love fluffy romances, they usually don't make lists like this, because in those stories, the characters don't always get room to grow and develop as individuals outside of the love story. But in this story, that was not the case. You got to know both of the characters as people, and when they got together, it was really amazing and just adorable, and we're so happy. And the writing was amazing. I just love the writing style, so I definitely recommend this book. The next book on my list is Dust of Eden by, I apologize in advance, I'm going to butcher the author's name and I feel really bad about it. But this book is by Mariko Nagai. I probably pronounced that wrong. So sorry, if anyone knows how to pronounce it, feel free to tell me. So this book is written in verse. It's a historical fiction type thing about a Japanese family who was relocated after Pearl Harbor, and just like their experiences. And I like historical fiction, but pretty much most of the historical fiction I read is set in the 19th century, usually in England, pretty much anything that can remind me of Jane Austen. So I don't really venture outside of that much as far as historical fiction goes, except with this one author whose name I can't remember, but... So I never really read a book about this time period or about the specific experience, but I love this book. I don't know why, but I never read a book written in verse before, and I kind of had this idea that if it was written in verse, you wouldn't really get to know the characters well, and it would just be more about how pretty the writing is and stuff. But that was not true of this book at all. You completely got to know the characters, all of them as individuals, and the writing style only added to the story and made it even more beautiful. So, yeah. This book was awesome. I would definitely recommend it. The next book on my list is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I didn't know anything about this book going into it, except, one, it's very popular on Booktube, and two, there's a plot twist. And I'm kind of glad that that's all I knew, because when I went into this book, I had no idea what to expect, and I really loved it. I really liked the fact that I didn't have any preconceived ideas about the book. And the plot twist was amazing. It was surprising. I kind of figured it out, but then I was like, no, that's not it. And so I was so surprised when the idea that I had turned out to be right, after I decided, no way, that's not it. And the writing style was great, the characters were great, and the story was a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. There was a lot more that went into it, and I really liked that about it. Definitely recommend it. The next book on my list is actually a series of books. I don't remember the name of the series, but it's by Tamora Pierce, and the first book in the series is called First Test. And like all other Tamora Pierce books, it's a fantasy series. It follows a girl named Caladri, and she's training to be a knight. It's about her struggles to become a knight and everything that kind of happens to her while she's training and after she finally becomes a knight, and just following her life. And it's really way more interesting than that summary made it sound. Caladri is a really interesting character. She's very fully developed, and it's nice to see her grow throughout the series, and to just see her and her friends, because her friends are awesome too. They're all great characters. And I just love Tamora Pierce's writing, but if you haven't read anything by Tamora Pierce, I would definitely recommend reading pretty much anything she writes. I have yet to read a book of hers that I didn't enjoy, so I would definitely recommend this series and any of Tamora Pierce's other books. Number 6 on the list, sorry I haven't been saying numbers at all, is Crimson Bound by Risman Hodge, which, like her other book, Cruel Beauty, is fairy tale retelling. This time it is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, but it's very different from the original fairy tale, which I actually enjoyed a lot. And the characters are great, the writing is beautiful, the plot is interesting, and I think way more intricate than the plot was in Cruel Beauty, even though I loved Cruel Beauty. That book was amazing. But I feel like the plot was even better in this book. And I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Number 7 on my list is Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. This book was amazing, just like Anna and the Friend's Kiss. I loved Lola's character, and I loved how she developed throughout the book, and she really got to know herself and stopped kind of caring what other people thought of her and how they defined her. And I loved her dads. They were great characters, and I always liked good representation, so yay for that. Number 8 on the list is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson, I believe. Hopefully I got that right. Yes. So this book is a book that definitely pleasantly surprised me. I thought I would like it, thought I would enjoy it, but I didn't expect much of it in terms of character development, but I was completely wrong. This book had loads of character development for both of the main characters, and the way they developed throughout the book just made the eventual romance even better. Number 9 on my list is the Captain Marvel series, at least 3 books of it that I read, by Kelly Sue DeConnick. I love these books. Captain Marvel is the first graphic novel / comic type thing I read, and I'm glad it was, because I love Carol as a character. I love the plots in all the books I read, and I cannot wait for the Captain Marvel movie, and whenever Marvel decides to release it, like, seriously, do it soon. Actually, no, you can wait a bit, because then I can read all the comics, and I can be like, oh yeah, I read the comics for the movie, because that never happened. And number 10, the final book on this list, is Michael Bay, The Prisoner of Self-25 by Richard Paul Evans. This book I actually borrowed from a friend, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great series. It's about kids with superpowers, and sort of this group that's trying to control them, and it's really, really interesting. I definitely recommend it. So that's it. Feel free to leave any comments about any of the books I mentioned in the comments and talk about what you thought of them, or tell me your favorite books of 2015. So that's it. Happy New Year. Bye.